What's going on, Sha?
Nothing. And it's very peaceful.
That's beautiful.
What's going on with you?
More people need nothing.
They do for a couple of days, just nothing.
I have I didn't want to announce it or say it anywhere because I wanted to make sure it was moving first.
Okay.
But like I've been on a bit of a health kick.
Okay.
Um Yesterday, I want to say I had like 12 servings of fruits and vegetables. Yeah, it was crazy work, yo. Like,
What? How did you do that?
so I had 2 meals of the same thing. I had a
Okay.
whole bowl of vegetables. It was definitely like 4 servings based on the bag. I had 2 servings of spinach. So it was like 4 cups.
Okay.
I had onion chopped up, pickled in the cup. I had the cherry tomatoes
Mm-hmm.
and there was like a purple lettuce thing. It was like a
Yes.
romaine thing. I had
Okay.
that in there. I
Right.
so I struggled through that. Took like 20 minutes. That's just hard workout on the jawline.
How did you eat? Did you heat that up?
Nah, that
Or
was salt, black pepper, vinegar.
okay, and you just ate all of that raw,
Ate all that raw.
including the spinach.
Yeah, it was baby spinach. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. So like a salad.
Yeah, it was like a salad. So I did
Okay.
that. And then Gabby made me a bowl of broccoli steamed. So
Okay.
that was like 2 servings ish
Okay.
based on the size.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended it the first time I had it with a tangerine, second one with blueberries as
Okay.
like a dessert. So I
Mm-hmm.
did that twice with like a piece of grilled chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like that alone is crazy servings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a breakfast I did like that was only like kind of unhealthy. So the bacon, egg, and cheese there. But
Mm-hmm.
I did that with like my dessert was raspberries. I've done that
Okay.
for like 3 days now.
Mm-hmm.
Um Trying to like get more veggies in.
Right.
I feel like A is super filling.
Mm-hmm.
B, I'm it's gonna sound like I'm transparent about my lack of knowledge. I didn't know vegetables were this cheap. Like I thought eating healthy was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went shopping for fruits and vegetables. Uh like blueberries are like $2.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, this is like way cheaper than like Kit Kat, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, I could eat blueberries for 2 days off of this. You know what I mean? So I got some blueberries, some pears, and like as I shopped around the little like Guanuco fruit stand, I was like, oh, like all of these foods is kind of affordable. So I went crazy and brought like 2 book bags worth over 2 days of
Mm-hmm.
fruits. And Gabby's like, yo, what's going on? Like you don't buy this shit. And I was like, I'm inspired. You know, I brought lemons. There was 3 fruits. I don't know what they are, but they looked nice.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna bring those home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Google those later and let's like make a smoothie or something,
Okay.
you know? So there's a lot of that happening, but like I don't want it to go to waste. So I've been eating this like healthy food in my house and like I feel better.
Okay.
You know what I mean? One, never had a problem with it, but it's better than ever. Pooping
Sure.
instantaneous.
Yeah. Honestly, I was going to ask you, did you explode into a pile of
Yo,
feces?
real talk,
Um,
like so fast out the system, Sha.
yeah, no, I'm sure it took everything with it. I'm sure it scraped the walls on its way out.
Straight up.
Grabbed everything that been in there out because that literally is colon blow. Like
Yo.
except for the spinach, the iron, if you eat a lot of spinach, it could actually block you up. But I think with the other stuff, it probably all just
Yeah.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Yo, went right through. Felt
Uh-huh.
great. Um, so yeah, that was good. B, even though I was very full
Mm-hmm.
and not hungry, um, I felt light. I don't know
Okay.
how to describe. Like it felt weird because like I felt like my stomach, like yeah, you can't take no more. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel tired.
Right.
And again, I don't know if this is like sustainable so much as like my body saying, "Oh, we've never had this before." You know,
Sure. Yeah.
there's a little bit of that. But it definitely felt physically better. I want to stress too. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
Steamed broccoli, atrocious. I hated every bite of it, but it was interesting. It was like the texture was different. There was a taste to it that I was like, this is distinct enough that like I don't like it, but I could see someone liking it, and I could grow to like it.
What'd she season it with?
Oh, I don't think she liked me that day, so she just did nothing. Like she was
Okay.
mad.
So you could season it,
Okay,
you know. Um and actually after steaming it, I mean some people, it depends on how your system is with cheese.
okay,
You could put a sprinkle a little cheese on it.
okay.
Just a little, I mean it's a, I guess cheese is fat, but I think it's kind of a good fat. Like if you're
Yeah,
not eating a lot, you do whatever cheese supplies is still a thing that you need.
okay. I'll
You
try
know,
it.
be it calcium or whatever. Yeah, I would do that. Like it's a very light steam the broccoli, season it with, I mean, honestly, a little salt, a little garlic thing. You can, I tend to stir fry it,
Oh,
florets. So I chop off just the crowns and chop those up, and then I'll stir fry it with sometimes I have stir fry packs where it's like broccoli, cauliflower, chopped carrots. You know, you can get a pack like that and then just throw it in a little oil and season it as you just warm it up till everything that is green is a very bright green. That's
yeah.
usually when I know. So it's like it's still crunchy, but some heat has activated something and it's not mushy. So once the everything brightens in color, that's usually when I know that it's done. And then if you have any like chicken around, grilled chicken, you can just chop it up and put it in there. Like,
Boom.
there are ways that you can, you know, mix it up and, still, you know, eat well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, no, that's right. The
I've been doing it.
you would feel lighter. That's great.
You know what I mean? I I've been giggling a lot to myself because uh I've been thinking about us a lot while I'm eating blueberries and raspberries. You
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Wait, are you hold on. Are you eating them in a thing as an ingredient, or are you just eating them out the
So I literally just grabbed them because I'm trying to mimic the Apple experience. I feel like
Uh-huh.
one at a time. I That's silly to me.
Uh-huh.
But like I was like, this is what they say to do, and you know, Shalewa hasn't steered me wrong yet. So like I tried it.
Uh-huh.
It still feels weird. One at a like eating it as candy just didn't work for me. So
Okay.
like what I do is I just scoop like a third of the plastic,
Mhm.
and then I just like drop them in. You
Okay.
know,
I mean, you're still
I got to
okay.
eat like 15 of them at once.
That doesn't mean you're not but it's the main thing, right? Because your if I remember correctly, your school of thought was it's an ingredient. Don't
Yeah,
nobody just eat them out of the thing, even if it is a handful, and that fruit
it's
to
not.
you is only the kind of fruit that can be held for the full hand. And I
I'm
was shocked at how many people actually agreed with you.
Yo, yeah, and like because I feel like I'm doing it wrong. Like I'm breaking the
I don't
like it's not in the same like there's certain fruits, blueberries, raspberries, that like I think even the supermarket agrees with me. They don't even put it with the other fruits. They like, yo, keep this in plastic like all the other ingredients. You know, like they put it separate. Apples, pears, you can just grab one because it's a food, you
Yeah,
know?
no, I think that that's just because they're smaller and you can't just put a huge barrel like you know how they put apples and pears in those huge like you can't do that with loose berries. Like that's not they're too small. That's why they're in small containers. Like the way that bigger tomatoes can be in those big bins, but smaller grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, those still tomatoes are in little plastic you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, to think of it like that. It's just a size thing. I don't think it's because these are ingredients and they're over there. That's not necessarily the case. I think
Okay.
and I think it's just eating it as a when I say you're eating it as a candy, I don't mean individually one by one like you would eat a candy. Plenty of people put a handful of peanut M&Ms in their mouth.
That's wild work.
Who just empty a bag in there. Have you seen how people eat that shit?
What are y'all doing?
No, not everyone is just eating one by one, like eating one popcorn kernel one by one. Many people are just shoveling it in their mouths. And I'm saying that is, you can also do that with berries. And you were like, that's insane.
I
But
still think that's insane. I'm
but
trying
I
it.
think that is how that there are people who do eat berries like that. I mean, the only berry I really eat is like strawberries, and because of the green thing on the top, I
Yeah,
gotta eat them one by one to eat. But if I get the kind where those have been chopped off, yeah, I'm popping them in. But strawberries tend to be
right.
bigger
That's the
than a
cutoff point to me. I think
yeah. I mean,
strawberries are the
those are
first
big, but
handheld food for babies. Like,
But yeah, no, people are for sure smaller ones they're eating to me like candy when people are getting, a few M&Ms in their hand and popping them in their mouth. I'm not just eating them one by one necessarily
okay. I mean, I'm
or
trying it out.
one chip at a time. Like that's not necessarily.
I will say, the most enjoyable version of it was when I put it in a sandwich. I did natural peanut butter, both sides, raspberries in the middle. That
Okay.
was
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
right. You're big on berries and a peanut butter
Yo,
sandwich. Right.
awesome, awesome meal. It interesting texture.
Mhm.
And then like it's extra points if you do raspberry with natural crunchy peanut butter. Now you add in a third texture.
This sounds like a chore to chew. Because first I got to stir my peanut butter, and I decided when I was grown up, I'm going to get the kind of peanut butter that I don't have to stir after a childhood of constantly like fucking up, giving myself carpal tunnel trying to stir this damn peanut butter.
Oh
I mean,
man,
I
that's
do
why they
it.
had. Remember,
I
as little kids, used to have us do that exercise in the gym. It
Yeah,
was
so that
stir
we can
peanut butter.
stir our natural peanut butter. I mean, one good thing is that my parents would do peanut butter and honey sandwiches, and I love
Ooh,
that. I
okay,
love that. Maybe more than jelly, but because that really
okay.
tastes like childhood to me is a peanut butter and honey sandwich. But the work I had to do to get that peanut butter out.
Y'all earn it.
I'm
That's why they
not
tell
doing
you it's
that
healthy.
anymore. That's why I'm grown. But fill it up with preservatives and sugar. I don't give a fuck. I just want to spread it.
But that's what makes it healthy. You burn all the calories for the sandwich before the
I'm eating
sandwich.
peanut butter. What do I care about my health? I
I,
gave
I,
up I gave up caring about my health when I was like, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because I know how heavy I'm gonna go on the jelly. So already all health is gone unless I'm eating that next to a salad. And
yo,
not
it's
like a salad on a plate, but I mean like like there's salad in my fridge and I'm standing next to my closed fridge eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's as healthy as it'll get for me.
oh, that's awesome. You know, there was like a whole like movement in the NBA over like people over like teams requesting PB and J's like as the meal before the games. Like it
Oh,
got yeah, like there was like a like somebody like it was like 4 or 5 years ago, like somebody ate like a PB and J and like mentioned that like yo, it's pretty like as a pregame snack, you get some protein, some fat, some carbs.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. And like it was like a thing where like somebody brought it in and like it replaced like the caviar or whatever. And like the players was like, yo, this is stupid, but like it tastes good. And like they started
It all
requesting it. And then like the
yeah,
dude
it
got traded.
always tastes good. Look, there's a reason peanut butter and jelly is still around.
Yeah.
Like it's not, this isn't like it's still around because it's good. You can do all kinds of things to the type of peanut butter, the type of jelly, the type of bread. There are all kinds of various adjustments that you can make, but it's ultimately salty and sweet.
Oh.
And that together, nothing better. The
Oh.
saltiness of peanut butter and then the sweet of jelly or honey or bananas or whatever sweet thing that you're doing up against the saltiness of the peanut butter. And then there's like, the especially before an activity, you've got
Yeah.
the fats of the peanut butter and then the sweet, the sugar there, and it's good.
You know,
It sustains that's why when people like anyone who's kinda doesn't have much money, and they're trying to make meals stretch or whatever, peanut
right.
butter and jelly's always in the mix because
Yeah.
like 2 sandwiches on regular sliced bread. You can eat 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and kinda be good for
Real
a
talk.
while.
And spent like 30 cents.
Yeah, you kinda can be good, and they're relatively cheap. If you can't afford to you can get a big old thing of peanut butter, and you can get a big
Yeah.
old container of jelly, and you can get some bread somewhere, and you
Real
can
talk.
make it for a while.
Bread's the only thing that's gonna expire. The other two things will make it for like 2, 3 years. You
Right,
know what I mean?
yes, yeah.
That's
So
a perfect food. You don't even need a fridge for any of the three items.
no, you don't. Not well, I would put jelly in the fridge, but ultimately,
I agree, but yeah.
yeah.
You know, I'm thinking about it now.
Uh-oh.
Is peanut butter the American food?
Is
Every
peanut
other
butter
like great American food I could think of technically came from
came from
elsewhere.
somewhere else? Peanut butter might be the great
Real talk,
American
a
food,
PB&J
actually.
sandwich might be like it's
Yeah.
is you know what I'm saying? Like peanuts
I mean,
uh
I think the peanut butter part of it is what will make it, like, super American.
yeah,
Yeah, that might be it. Honestly, you might be right. That might be the great American food, is a peanut butter
yeah.
and jelly sandwich.
Cuz I'm thinking of like the other stuff like pizza is like technically like Italian, right? Like I know like a lot of people argue that like the ingredients are Italian, but like it's not like famous Italian cuisine like other things.
Mhm,
Pizza's more American, but I still think it started there.
mhm.
Burgers def aren't here. They're famous here, but I think that's like
Right.
Germany or something. I forget where, but like
Yeah, and
it's over there.
mhm.
Um French fries doesn't have America in the name. But I think it's here. You know, I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
like
I
what would
mean,
have a
like, I
stronger
feel like
argument.
there probably have been other things, in other countries that are in spirit somewhat similar, but I think a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, if only for the peanut butter part of it.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's
think
here.
jellies and marmalades and all that kinda shit, that's been happening
Right. They've
all
been on
over,
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
But the peanut butter part of it, I
That's
think
all us.
maybe.
Yeah.
That might be all us. Although I did hear about someone else that it wasn't George Washington Carver who'd made peanut butter, that someone else did, but I think he was still in America, so I don't know, who's to say? But
Yo,
I think that PB&J might be the true American,
real talk.
like, food offering.
Yo, that's a documentary in there somewhere if somebody
Yeah,
wants
I
to
think
shoot it.
so, I think so.
Real talk. All I ask is that you include this clip somewhere in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Real talk.
absolutely. If you're hearing us and you think, "Huh," make sure to
That's it.
throw us a little something.
Yeah. But it's in the credits, little producer thing, you know?
Yeah, a little producing thing. That's all we want. Just a little producing thing.
Real talk, yo. Let's get into the news. The European Commission has imposed a fine of 337.5 million euros, 366 million American, on food company Mondelez, the owner of Oreo cookies and other snack brands, for obstructing the sales of its products between European member states. The bloc's executive arm said this week. Mondelez owns the Cadbury and Toblerone chocolate brands, as well as
Toblerone.
Toblerone
Yes.
chocolate brands, as well as Oreo and Chips Ahoy cookies, Triscuit crackers, and Perfect Snack nutrition bars. The commission said Mondelez tried to avoid the cross-border tax border trade because that could lead to lower prices. It said this harmed consumers who end up paying more for the chocolate biscuit and coffee. Such illegal practices allowed Mondelez to continue charging more for its own products, to the ultimate detriment of consumers in the EU. The
Ah.
Chicago-based candy company breach the EU competition rules by engaging in anti-competitive agreements or concentrated practices aimed at restricting cross-border trades of various chocolate, biscuits, and coffee products.
Okay. I mean, yeah, of course they did. It's a fucking company. I don't know, like,
yo,
yeah.
Shaw's like
They
tiredness
just
of you rich people.
I am. I'm
Yo,
so
she is so over y'all conglomerates, yo. She was like, y'all stay with this bullshit, yo.
you really do. Like, of course you did this shit. Just pay the fine and try to figure out another way. But
Yo, like when cause like stuff like this is like, yo, you know how big a company gotta be to treat a continent like it's a herb? Like, I
yeah,
understand like you push me around, but like you pushing Europe around, like, nah, B,
yeah.
Europe ain't gonna say shit. Keep that
Just
separate.
it's so the you make Oreos and Chips Ahoy. So you've already cornered you
Chocolate.
know what I mean? Like you've
Yeah.
got the main cookies that people think of when they think of cookies.
Real talk.
You
If
got
there's
Chips
milk
Ahoy and you
dipping,
got
you
cookies.
got it.
Yeah. So like who cares if it costs a little less for some consumers by allowing this trade? You still own what our brain conjures up when it conjures up cookie. When
Yeah.
someone says cookie, we're thinking chocolate chip cookie immediately. Visually, like it's the main cookie we think of when someone says cookie. And
Yeah.
then you own the top brand of chocolate chip cookie. Let folks pay a couple of euros less because we're dying out here. We're dying out here. It is
Real talk,
so
B.
rough right now for everyday people in the world. And y'all want to try to nickel and dime us over some
Yo,
goddamn cookies.
I don't
Pay
even
your
know where you
fucking
get a
fine and let us
Hydrox.
get it for less. I'm so
Yeah.
tired. I'm so through with these people. You're absolutely right. I am through it.
Where do you buy a Hydrox? Y'all got it on Smash.
Y'all fucked up high. And look, please don't get me started on Hydrox because I prefer Hydrox to Oreos. And Keebler bought out Sunshine Cookie, which is who used to make Hydrox and used to make my favorite cookie, the lemon cooler. And they fucking snuffed that shit out. And now we're all just
No.
stuck with your goddamn fudge stripes. No one wants that shit anymore. Like, I'm so angry. I don't even want to get into it. But yeah, like you snuff all the creativity out of stuff. So now and instead you give us Oreos with Sour Patch Kids in the cream. What? Y'all don't even know what the fuck you're doing. Y'all are wilding out there. And now it's just sitting on the shelves on sale because I was just in a grocery store that was stocked to the gills with Sour Patch Kids Oreos, and that shit ain't gonna go nowhere. Trust me. Trust me, as someone who bought all your weird fucking flavors, nobody wants it. That don't even make sense. It's salty and sweet, not sour and sweet. Get out of here. Yeah,
Yo.
y'all fucking around in the wrong spots. Y'all need more money to come up with terrible flavors? Why don't you come up with a salmon cream Oreo? Look, I gave that one to you for free.
Boom. Done.
There.
Real
Now,
talk.
let them people pay a little less. Pay your fine and let those people pay a little less for your insane ass collabos.
Yo, every time Oreo comes out with a new flavor, I know nepotism's involved.
I
Like,
I'm
real talk.
truly now knowing that they also own Triscuits, really shocked that there's not a Triscuit Oreo.
Give it time. Real talk. That's in the chamber. In other news, a bear breaks into a Monrovia home and leaves with only one item, a pack of Oreos. That's right, Sha.
What are you
Bear broke
talking
into a
about?
home in Monrovia, California on Friday and managed to sneak out with what the neighbors believe is the animal's favorite snack, Oreos. The incident happened in the 200 block of Canyon Crest Drive. I was scared to death, said the neighbor, Vina Corey. He was so close. That never happened before. Last week, a much smaller bear broke into the same family's car, taking out groceries, including, yes, you guessed it, the Oreos. For the last 10 years, particularly the bears, have become more bold and have assumed more territories as their own, said neighbor Dominic Spica. Corey said she had a similar encounter last year when a bear broke into her garage and began rummaging through a refrigerator to get a chocolate cake that was inside. Now that he actually broke into the house, it's a bit scary, Corey said to the news. I feel like I can't leave a window open with the screen because he literally took the screen out.
Oh shit.
So that's a little alarming to me. No
Oh
injuries
man.
were reported.
I don't know why that's kind of surprising that a bear took a screen out. Like, why would I think a screen would stop a bear? But I also feel like the bear got there and was like, well, what the fuck is this? I was like, how
I
do
didn't
I?
install this.
Because you got to break. I mean, if it's anything like the screens in our windows, you got to break it in order to get it out of there. So he probably was actually very upset because he had to deal with that screen because he's like, this should just slide right out. What is the. Oh my goodness. Also, I mean, yes, that is terrifying, but I think the issue here is that you're dealing with a couple of chocoholic bears.
Yeah, real talk. That's it.
Stop buying chocolate goods. See if
Yo.
he goes up like this for butterscotch. Now, that's the kind of bear I would be. I would be going through your house looking for all your caramel, but it may be time to pivot to salty sweets or salty things. Like maybe you gotta have more corn chips or something in there. Maybe something that the bear will be like, I can't eat this. What am I
I'll eat
gonna?
this,
Where's
baby.
your chocolate? Where's your chocolate?
I love the idea of like instead of like getting the bear to go away, you just give it more sweets so that it like slowly comes to the decision by itself. Like a bear just being like, I gotta cut back, yo. Like,
Right.
so-
I mean,
I used to just go for the Oreos, but now I'm eating caramel. I'm eating, just too many options here. She put out corn chips last week. I was like, I gotta have
yeah, I can't go there.
I can't say no.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now,
yeah, true. That's what we need a bear in Overeaters Anonymous.
Real talk. Maybe he's bulking, you know?
Oh,
Bears
right.
like
Well,
weightlifting, needs the calories.
I would, you know what? I would consider that if it wasn't spring. If this was in the fall, I would say, yeah, he's getting ready to go to sleep.
Right, you got to be in cutting season now.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You should be looking for keto.
It's time for bears to start breaking into houses and going to the pool. So you want to be in shape. And this one didn't get the memo. And he's out here eating all the chocolate.
Yo, every time a bear breaks into a home, a part of me thinks like homes are just closets for bears.
Like a place to keep their things.
Yeah, like I think bears like talk like, nah, that's mine. Like that's part. Like I think they like mark the house as their house.
Oh yeah,
and they tell the other bears, "Now this is my crib." You know what I mean? It's my closet. Sometimes they invite bears over and they show the house off. They're like, "Yeah, it's my space." But like, if the same bear keeps going to the same house,
yeah.
So like, it feels like this is my area.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely true. That a bear is just like, oh, they keep doing stuff. I'm gonna keep coming.
Yeah, real talk.
No one's done anything yet. I've been in this house twice now. This is kind of my house.
Yeah.
Also,
I'll even go as far as the bear thinks we're his pets.
Maybe.
Like, oh, look at these cute little things.
Look at him bringing me stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real talk.
There might be something to that, honestly.
Because like a cat will bring you like a dead mouse.
Yeah, that's
true. They think we're bringing the Oreos. You know?
And we're just forgetting to set it out. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, what I think about a lot is when they're just like, this bear broke into our house and have you ever seen, it even went through the screen, and have you seen a bear's paws? How big they look, like hands, but they're huge. That bear ain't do nothing but just kind of move something out of the way. That bear's been there with like a Slim Jim trying to go in there with a credit card, trying to go through the front door. It literally just pushed the door open. Maybe put a shoulder into it, but like,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, y'all may wanna,
You think the
um
bear's a night burglar? Know what I mean?
oh,
Pink
yeah,
Panther
right.
over here? Come
Yeah,
on,
you may
man.
wanna move, or you may wanna put, like, bear spray in your sprinkler system,
Mm.
but that feels like that's gonna fuck up everyone in the neighborhood, so it may be time to look for other housing because the bear clearly owns this. But then the bear's gonna leave it abandoned because there won't be any more chocolate anymore, right?
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
That's how real estate goes, you
That
know?
is real estate's rough out here.
Real talk. Yo,
Uh-oh.
that's how we get prices back to normal in New York.
What?
We
Put
start
bears
letting,
here?
yeah, just let some bears
Nah, because
loose.
I give it 3 months before bears are literally on the train reading papers on the way to work. I'm not losing my job to a bear.
Yo,
The
I'm
first time
about
a
to get some
bear
bears.
shows up to an open mic, it's a wrap.
Yo, these bears, man, they too into like this artsy alt comedy scene, yo.
Right,
You know what I
yes.
mean?
That's
I
just what I need is a bunch of bears in Brooklyn taking up my precious spots or taking my stand-up classes. A bear at improv, someone's gonna die at that improv show every time.
I am all about this. I gotta tell you.
Bears
Look,
in New
I
York.
don't normally preemptively admit to crime, but if there's bears loose in New York soon, I did it. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. It was definitely okay.
No. If this happens, I'm turning to you immediately, especially since I know you don't even like animals, so I know it's you.
Real talk. We come to an agreement over this. I'm with this, yo. Real talk. You get a free apartment in my place.
Right?
We'll
Look,
work this
I
out
have
right
moved
now.
over squirrels. A squirrel in my apartment? Guess what? I'm moving. So yeah, a bear comes in. I don't even have no screens to stop them. I also don't have much chocolate, but I do have a cat. Maybe they'll eat the cat. I'm not sure. Either way, you now live in this apartment.
Finally, we got a majority of Americans wrongly believe the U.S. is in a recession, and most are blaming Biden. Nearly 3 in 5 Americans wrongly believe the U.S. is in an economic recession, and the majority blame the Biden administration, according to a Harris poll conducted exclusively for this paper, The Guardian. Survey found persistent pessimism about the economy as the election day draws near. The poll highlighted many misconceptions people have about the economy, including that 55% of the people believe the economy is shrinking, 56% think the U.S. is experiencing a recession, though the broadest measures of the economy, gross domestic product, has been growing. 49% believe the S&P 500 stock market index is down for the year, though the index went up 24% in 2023 and it's up more than 12% so far this year through May. 49% believe that unemployment is at a 50-year high, though the unemployment rate has been under 4%, a near 50-year low. Many Americans put the blame on Biden for the state of the economy, with 58% of those polled saying the economy is worsening due to the management from the presidential administration. The poll underscores people's complicated emotions around inflation. The vast majority of respondents, 72%, indicated that they think inflation is increasing. In reality, the rate of inflation has fallen sharply from its post COVID peak of 9.1 and has been fluctuating between 3 and 4% per year.
All right, I'm gonna stop you. Here's the issue.
Mm,
Um, Great, wonderful, these numbers. Uh-huh. How does that play in the everyday lives of Americans?
mm.
It feels like a recession because we're not making money.
Okay.
That's why it feels like a recession.
Yeah.
Because we
So,
are not so things seem oh great, so things are going up. How come I'm still getting paid the same small amount? How come all the prices are going up, but I'm not getting any increase on my cost of living pay?
yeah.
Everything is extremely expensive and no one wants to give me enough money to continue to keep up with all of this growth. We are struggling out here and they are doing this math for these numbers that mean nothing when we've already seen. That's the other thing is we've seen what companies will do when left to their own devices during COVID, when there are, things disappearing, supply chain issue, but then things coming back and being extremely expensive. And then finding out that they just raised we're here
Yeah.
seeing companies being proud of their growth because they've raised the rates and they don't have to. They just kept them high and keep raising them.
Yeah.
And we're not getting paid more. I don't give a fuck about your percentage points. If I, you know what I mean? Like, great, yo, you silly Americans, you think that there's a recession and there's no recession. Then why am I broke? Why am I broke? Tell me why I'm broke.
Yeah, like
I work every day. Why am I broke?
so.
Why am I struggling? Why? Remember, I sent you that thing on how much shit
Yeah,
went up for fast
like
food
fast food
restaurants?
joints. Yeah, yeah, like Big
Why is
Macs are
that
like
happening?
$8. Yeah.
Like
So
McDonald's prices went up like 160 something percent.
yeah, wild work. I
That's
only buy McDonald's
wild.
through the app now.
Yeah, and so now I gotta sell my, I gotta put my shit in an app. Everything's all about these phones and these apps, and that's how. So now they get all my data and all this other shit. You're taking everything from me, and you're giving me nothing. And then you
Yeah.
want to say I'm stupid because I think there's a recession. Something's receding. Something's moving down. Nothing's increasing for me. I'm done with these people talking to us like we're idiots. We're not idiots. We're struggling. We're
Yo, real
struggling and we're hungry, and you ain't giving us money, and you're pulling more and more out of us. And I, for one, am about sick of it. I'm about sick of it.
yo, real talk, yo. I so I love Angry Shy. Real talk. I'm sorry you feel that way, but it brings me so much joy when you share it.
I mean, what I really hate is probably this is the best station I've been in my life.
Word.
In my whole working life, this is probably the best situation I've been in.
Okay.
And I
Well,
still have a roommate.
Real talk. I'm with you. So again, full transparency, shared this because our listeners are genuinely like intelligent people who regularly share stuff that like shows me another side of things, another perspective. We had a listener who pointed out that a couple weeks back we said that we're in a recession, and they said that it might be dangerous to share that idea with the election coming up because people are going to blame that on the Democratic Party when it's
Right.
not that. And I get that. So like,
yeah.
I appreciate that like you're showing that in a lot of ways, the work is being done to improve things, but there is a difference between what the numbers say and how the people feel that I think isn't being calculated here. And that feeling is coming from a real place. So I'm not saying these numbers are a lie or that they're wrong.
Right.
What I'm saying is that these aren't deep enough. There's something missing between what these numbers are saying and what the day-to-day people are telling you. Like, hey, like, okay, the economy is better. That's great. To Shah's point, why am I still struggling like 5 years ago economically? So there's something that we're not capturing in these numbers that I'm curious about. I want to see I would point out as someone looking to vote only because it would be a thing to bring up the politicians to say, hey, maybe you got to change what you're tracking because the thing you're tracking, you're improving it, but it's not improving our quality of life. So thank you for fixing what you thought was the problem, but that's not the problem. Or at least the way you're fixing it isn't helping what we're feeling. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of numbers, and I don't mean to disrespect the numbers, but there, like you're saying, there's just a void in there that needs to be filled. There's a perception problem. Here's how it's perceived, and it's perceived that way because of what we're going through. So a recession is perceived because it feels like we're having a hard time right now.
To your point, I shouldn't have to pay $50 for me and Gabby to have 2 Big Mac meals.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like that's wild work. Like it's like $15 pre-tax. For a McDonald's meal per person. You know what I mean? I've spent $100 in the drive-through at a fast food place. That's wild work. You know what I mean? So stuff like that, like it feels emotionally like hurtful. Like, yo, this isn't. It wasn't that long ago that this was reasonable.
Yes.
or
And
felt
so
reasonable.
I think people are probably blaming Biden because he's currently the president. And it
Yeah,
literally doesn't get much deeper than that. People are struggling. The president is supposed to be fixing this. Nothing feels like it's being fixed.
yeah,
So it's his fault. Now, is it his fault? Probably not. There are lots uh, of the things that trickle down. It's usually piss before it's
right.
before it's money. So, like we're dealing with issues of things that were put into place long before,
Yeah,
and things are happening now. Perhaps that Biden's doing that. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see the benefits of later.
you
Right?
know, not to bring this full circle,
Uh huh.
but right now it sucks. But this is like our peanut butter jelly phase,
What do you mean?
where it feels shitty because there's gonna be a greater good later. You're tightening up the budget. You know what I mean? So you fixing things. You know, in a
Mm-hmm.
couple years, you're gonna have a nicer apartment. You're gonna have a nicer place. But right now, you in a shitty apartment. You eating PB&J to save money. You know what I
Right.
mean? You having water. You having rice and beans. You having ramen. That's what we're
Yeah.
going through right now as a country. Right now, we in the peanut butter and jelly phase of it. We
Well,
fixing
here's
it.
the problem there is, um, if we're following that, people can vote out whoever it is that's making you because they're
Oh,
eating peanut butter and jelly. We're not looking for what's ahead,
right,
because at the rate we're moving right now, what's ahead isn't promised.
right. And
We
it's
may
too
not
far.
be
Yeah.
in a good enough place to benefit from what the building blocks that you're setting up now. I need you to
Oh,
fix what I'm going through right
today.
now. And so that is the thing that I feel like politicians need to speak to more, because I mean, as much as politicians and policy people and wonks and everybody want to talk about the numbers, and at that, and yeah, sure, the common man, yeah, they're the ones voting, and so we'll go to a diner in the Midwest or whatever, but it's really, look at these numbers and look at these poll numbers, and these percentages, and here are projections and all this other kind of shit. It's people that will actually vote. And here's the thing about people: can't call it,
Mm,
can't call it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
You can't call it. I feel like Trump was elected because you can't call it. Because so many people were just like, well, let's see what this does.
Real talk, yo. They went Rochambeau with the country, yo.
Yeah. Like, let's see what this. Yeah, this ought to be interesting. Do you know how many people who voted for Trump because they just wanted to shake things up a little bit? Cool. Great. Now look at us.
Real talk.
So, yeah, like that's the thing. You can't call it when it comes, but there are people are they are predictable in ways for sure, but not always. You know what I mean? They are more
Yeah.
predictable in that you can't call it. so
Yo.
so that's the thing, is that if you got to remember that you're dealing with a really like hard to know mass, and that mass
Yeah.
is just people kind of just deciding, we'll do this. You've done comedy in a room where there's one person in the room who somehow, not that, even though no other audience member knows that person is dictating how the room reacts.
Yeah.
You can't call that shit. Why is everybody being quiet? Oh, because this little old lady over here is being quiet. And somehow everyone's looking to her for guidance. What? Why?
Yeah.
They just decided that when they were in the room. This dude over here, this person over here having a fit, having a good old time. Everyone's decided we'll have a good old time with them. This dude over here who's quiet, who doesn't seem to be into it. You know what? He's not into it. We're not into it. They just People are just throwing their lot behind, and you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of, you can't predict what people are going to do, because people will tell you they're going to do one thing and do the opposite. Like, you just can't call that. No one's speaking to the fact that we are struggling right now. And though I get that you can't some of these things don't have fast fixes. Show us that you know that it's a problem, and no one seems to be doing that. Um, and like, yeah, it's just that's that's why these numbers are so annoying, because I know they're going to, when things don't go out, that they're going to, I don't know why people would vote against their interests, because look at these numbers. They show blah, blah. Folks have been voting against their interests since we started voting.
Mm.
So that's insane, that you don't even realize that, and that you're just going to hide behind the numbers and think the numbers fix everything without talking to the real human aspect of what is happening. So that's what this feels like, a way of like, okay, here are these numbers and here's what people believe and blah blah blah. And I absolutely understand the numbers and I see how people are blaming Biden and I understand how that's happening. But what I think that the people who cling so tightly to these numbers and spew them at us all the time, I think what they're missing is that we don't give a fuck about your numbers right now. Here's how it feels in the mud.
Yeah.
How you gonna get? How we gonna get up out the mud? Tell
Yo,
us that plan. What's your plan for that?
if you would like to vote for me as the Manchurian candidate that Shalewa controls, all you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show, baby. If you're an Apple or
Uh,
Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You think Shalewa should run? She's the brilliant mind, but she doesn't want to be the face of that.
mm-mm.
You know what I mean? 5 stars. I like talking. I don't know what to say.
Yo, this just might work. I've been watching a
Yo,
lot
real
of
talk.
stuff where mom is the. I just started watching Mary and George on Stars, and it's just a mom trying to get her son to sleep with the king so that they can run shit. And I'm like, huh? Okay, let me take some notes. You know, we might be able to do this.
If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo. We're at Gastor Almonte. Shout out sweet to Terry Beth and Lauren Wiley. And yo, real talk, I do appreciate, again, I randomly always say so, like, thank you so much to like troops correspondents. You genuinely like make me think. And like I can't stress enough how much I appreciate that. Thank you sincerely for sending in
Yeah, and
articles
thanks
and
for
like,
sending stuff based on whatever wild shit we're talking about
yeah,
that actually adds some context and
yeah,
nuance to it, because that's all. I know I speak a lot in absolutes, but I really am a fan of the gray area and context and nuance and having those kinds of discussions, because I don't
yeah.
know shit. Neither of us know shit,
Real
and we're
talk.
just out here talking it out. So I do appreciate you sending us stuff that shows us different things and like that we can discuss in a in the way that we talk about things.
Real talk, man. It's a blessing, man. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, cause like what's gonna happen is like 4 weeks from now, I'm
Mhm.
gonna semi understand this, and then I'm gonna tell it to my kids, and they're gonna give me the credit. And like, I'm gonna have to be on. Be like, some lady emailed me. I'm not nearly this smart, you know what I
Right,
mean? But
right,
you
yes.
deserve the right information, though. So here you go. This has been an informative episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.